if people are searching for it.
TYM.
And this model in particular.
What is this model?
5340R or 5840R.
I got your recording here. 5835R TYM. And Peter is doing his 50 hours of service. He already did the oil. And surprisingly, it calls for the front differential to get a new gear lube in it. And you said it almost takes about 2 gallons each?
2 gallons total.
Total.
Fills on the one side, and
oh, so the fill is only here on the driver's side.
and that's also where that level check is, and drains from both ends of the front axle. But yeah, 80-90 gear lube. Yeah, so this is the 5835, as Jake said. I kind of think of it as a poor man's Kubota 60 series. 5830. Think of like the 5860 SUV. This is kind of comparable to that, in my opinion. Got a few more features than the real basic 5660. It's got like a couple of standard rear remotes. Adjust up and down your rear 3-point from the back here with a little button.
That's pretty handy right there.
That's pretty sweet. Of course, it's electronics, which means that's something that can fail, but
yeah,
it's really quite nice. And it's got the shuttle shift, but it's a power shuttle, so no clutch. You just go from forward to reverse, just like the 5660. But Kubota's is more of a hydraulic shuttle, they called it. This one has electronics. So there's a button on the gear shift lever here. You can hit that, shift on the fly. That actually hits the clutch. You can shift right on the fly. Yeah, like I said, 2 automatics, two remotes, rear remotes. It does have.
And you're using
control.
both of those remotes right now with just that one.
Just the one remote for the
the one
side shift on the fly.
Oh,
yeah.
And you were thinking about getting a hydraulic top link.
Yeah, right. I could use the other for hydraulic top.
Yeah.
And then you really can adjust your draft control with this, speed up and down of that 3-point hitch. And it's independent PTO, and you can actually have it set to where the PTO raises when you go into reverse. You can have it raise when you make a turn. So it's got some nice features that the 5660 doesn't have, the Kubota. But it really is. It's like a poor man's Kubota M60 series.
It looks like this fuses are
very similar size.
It looks like them fuses are very readable right there, or easily accessible. I would say right there too.
Yeah, I haven't had to deal with those yet.
Which hopefully you won't.
No, right. 12-volt socket with so I got power there. I'll probably convert that to like USBs at some point. I got one out in the car, and yeah, I'll convert that to USBs and see how that works out. But yeah, great. I'm really happy with it. My only issue is the this air filter screen. With the screen here, you have to disconnect your radiator hose, and then you got to kind of swing your take the bands off, and then you can swing your air filter housing out of the way, and then you can pull up the screen to clean the screen out. But doing all this flail mowing over the last few days, I mean, you got to be on that all the time, because I had a couple.
You can see this is
kind of overheats going where I had to jump off the tractor, raise the lid, clean that screen, and it cooled right down.
Yeah.
But it was just all that chaff getting in the screen. And
yeah. This too, I was telling Peter, and I think I've got a piece for him before he leaves. If we could rig just another little screen just over this, would be handy.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Because if that clogs, and it's somewhat restricted, and the other one too,
Right.
But
yeah, one.
And this is, too. This does a pretty decent job.
Oh yeah, that's the first step.
The first step,
When you get into a situation where maybe all of a sudden you start overheating, you got to clean this exterior off and then get in, and you got to reach, and you can't just pull the screen up. So that's really like one of my only complaints about this tractor. Otherwise,
I did a job for his neighbor actually just the other weekend, and it was brush hogging in the front here of mine I mean, it was like just completely clogged, and I just quick wiped it off, and yeah, it's amazing what you get on there in a short amount of time.
With all the dead stuff being so dry right now, and obviously the fall just creates a lot of that fine particle dust.
Typically, too, we don't have this dry of falls. Like, this is the driest on record we've ever remember.
Insane. I mean, I don't have a place to store this yet, and I've been so lucky because it really hasn't been rained on. It's got maybe some dew on it, and that's about it.
But you got a cheap shelter coming to get it out of.
Yeah. Got the Harbor Freight Cover Pro 10x20 canopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be able to drop the wraps and fit it right under.
Actually, maybe when he gets it, maybe I could do a second video of just showing a quick view of the property, and then that Harbor Freight thing. I think those little buildings.
We'll have to do an instruction video on how to put it together.
Anybody could probably figure that out.
Well, yeah, great tractor. I'm very happy with it. I think I made the right choice. Would have loved the Kubota M60, but
what were you saying? The Kubota was like at least 10 grand more.
Yeah, at least 10 grand more. Yeah, and even with the rebates that they got going, I think they got to do like 3,000 now rebate on a Kubota. Plus, you should be able to get a couple grand off from your dealer if you really work it.
Yeah.
But still, it makes it almost 10 grand more.
Yeah.
This just has a little more features than the base Kubota 5660. So, yeah, it's.
There's a lot of people I see on YouTube with, well, not a lot, but I would say there was one down, I think he's a Southerner, and he got the TYM, and
oh yeah,
you know, too, if you get big enough on YouTube, TYM will come to will say, "Hey,
right, yeah.
will you use my tractor?"
So
I guess.
You saying I got to start a channel after this airs, Jake?
Or we just do it on my channel, you
Do
know?
it on your channel. And have like a playlist, the TYM playlist.
Yeah.
Right on your channel. That'd be awesome. That'd be fantastic.
But yeah, it's
Easy fill gas tank.
that's really nice right there.
Awesome. Ground clearance is solid at like, I think it's like 18 inches of ground clearance.
The only thing like limiting that's almost the step, but that's replaceable.
But actually, that's even the lowest frame rate.
Yeah.
So it's really not bad.
Yeah, it ain't a big deal at all.
Yeah.
And it is a turbo.
Yeah, 58 horsepower turbo. It's the Coupe J engine, which is based on from what I've seen in videos and researched. It was a Cummins engine initially, and they bought either the design to it or they bought the engine, and I think it was used in generators mostly. That's what Cummins was using it for. But it's like a mechanical engine. There's no computer system, no common rail. It's all mechanical.
That's nice.
No big, huge wiring harness you got to manage.
Yeah.
That's why people love those 25 horsepower and under tractors.
Because you get under.
They don't have that common rail.
Now, did the Kubota M7060 have all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking probably.
That's probably where all that extra money comes
hundreds
in.
Of yards of wiring harness. This one, very little.
I know somebody that got it was Trout Creek actually. They got an M7060.
Oh yeah.
And they had a bunch of trouble with something in the wiring in a fuse, and they finally figured it out, but
right.
It was a big to do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then the field mice, they all head in the winter.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about them eating your wiring. I mean, there's some wiring they can eat, obviously, but it's not
right.
The amount that you're going to have in a modern engine with the common rail.
How is this? Do you like the mirror here? That came standard, right?
Yeah, standard.
Did you like that?
Well, I swing it in normally, but driving over to your house from the field, I had to swing it around upside down. You can see.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know,
Does it vibrate a little or not bad?
Not bad. I didn't
Okay.
notice a heck of a lot. No, it actually performed just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
I know
I could just. I'm driving around.
Oh, that's
in the
nice.
field, that's where it is all the time.
Okay.
But having been able to, get out on the road and come down here,
Yep.
that was awesome.
My dad wants mirrors on his, but there isn't a real good setup on our Kubotas, But
I went looking for your Kubota. It's outside. Jake's let me use the garage to do this first service, and I'm so thankful because
It's a lot nicer doing it
Doing
on
it at
cement.
home is awesome. You know, I mean, otherwise I'm paying the guy to come get my tractor,
Oh
and
yeah,
then it's probably been $1,000 bill. This is going to be what, maybe $250
yeah,
with all my fluids
yep,
and yeah, just and learning about the tractor too.
yeah. You gotta learn your tractor.
Gotta know
So
your tractor. I mean, heck, that's my first comment in 50 hours of ownership is having a tractor is a lot of work. I mean, it saves you a ton of work, but it's a lot of work. You know, lubing it, checking fluids levels,
right,
keeping it
keeping it tip top
in
shape.
tip-top shape, ready to work for you.
Blowing all the stuff. We actually blew this tractor off more when before we brought it in. Believe it or not, but
It's been so dusty.
it's been
And then the
horrible.
dew at night collects on the tractor and it turns that dust to
Yeah,
crust. And we'll get her cleaned up.
but that's what tractors are made for. They're made for work.
That's right, and she's working great too. All right,
This is
your
the-
oil is ready to be.
This is the rear end here, and
What do you think
it's
of
got
having your
dual
oil?
cylinders there on the outside. I kind of like that actually, because if you had to replace them, you know, you could. Them,
Yeah, that's
them
what
dual
the-
cylinders, like
yeah.
on Kubota, they're on the inside.
Right.
Now, I would imagine if there's a leak on the inside, it's not so bad, but still, like, I mean, if you had to change this,
If you had to rebuild it,
I'm pretty sure you could yeah, yep, yeah.
that's what people told me. Now, I don't know. The Kubota dealer
Wants to say
wants
otherwise.
to say otherwise, and he's a good guy. He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was kind of one interesting point. Oh, and it's got about the same lift capacity as the M60 series Kubota. It's like I think it's 3,000 pounds, 24 inches from the lift arms, and Kubota's is 10% more, maybe 3,300. So it really is a great comparison tractor.
yeah. If you like seeing these types of videos and more, please consider subscribing to Life Practical. And don't forget to hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next one.